Well, good evening. I'm Dwan, and this is Angela, and this is Chuck, and we are here for Experience Mid Valley Fellowship. You may have noticed that we weren't here last week. That's because we were all kind of snowed and iced in, and so we decided to stay home instead of slip our way here. Anyway, but we're back at it for programs this evening. Looking forward to what God's going to do in the time this evening. Angela, you're facilitating a lesson tonight. What group are you facilitating a lesson for?
So I am facilitating for Hope Together Year 2. And so this lesson tonight is Steps to a New Dance, is what it's called, but it's the fourth of a series of lessons. And it really, all these lessons really are focused on how does a couple, after there's some kind of betrayal or they've been married and dealing with an active addiction for a while, like they learn to relate in distorted ways, unhealthy ways. And so this really helps them understand, like, okay, if they want to do it different, if they want to relate to each other in a healthy way, in a different way, these are the steps that they take to get there. And they're not easy things,
Sure.
Especially when they've been doing it this way for so many years, maybe decades, to change things up. And so one of the powerful pieces in this lesson that I like to talk about is, for so many women, they have like either felt like their husband has silenced them or they have silenced their own voice because it just makes life easier. And so part of this is them being able to find their voice again and know how to communicate, like, how do I feel and what do I need and those kinds of things. And it's very challenging, actually, but it's just a powerful lesson in moving forward in the relationship, in each of their recovery and healing. So it's really good and
Very cool. It's awesome. Sweet. And Hope Together is our group for spouses, right? Yeah. Someone who's walked through sexual brokenness. And then Chuck, you're facilitating a lesson also. What group are you facilitating a lesson for?
Clean Heart Year 2.
And what is Clean Heart?
Clean Heart is people that are struggling with sexual addiction and pornography. And the lesson I'm teaching is Family Part 2. And what we're going to talk about is the different aspects of abuse from your family, which would be, actually describing what abuse is and then dealing with the physical, the emotional, the spiritual, and that all those different dimensions. And you have to know how and what you're dealing with in order to move forward and move on from it. So it is a very powerful lesson.
Yeah, for sure. And it's sort of touches on the abuse aspect, which we have another program that supports people who kind of need more in depth around the question of abuse.
Yes, Mending the Soul.
Yeah, yep.
It's a phenomenal program.
Yeah. So there's a couple other lessons that are happening tonight too. I'm going to be facilitating for Clean Heart Year 1, which is the guys who are in their first year. Chuck has the guys who are in the second year. And so my lesson is going to be on secrecy, and just it, among other things, are sort of threads of addiction. So that whenever someone has a history of addiction, that it can be secretive. You could also throw in like being compulsive or impulsive or other pieces that kind of come along with the addiction. So even as sobriety comes, there still can be those tendencies to engage in those behaviors, like secrecy is one example. And so we're going to be talking about the value of connection and relationship, and that ultimately we are wounded in relationship and we heal in relationship also. And so the necessity to have people walk alongside us and to have those open, authentic, honest conversations about what's going on, and allow people to speak in, and also have the opportunity to encounter God's healing in that as well. And so that's what we'll be talking about in Year 1. And I'm not actually sure what the other topics are for the other groups, but they'll be tackling some other important things too. And so we value your prayers as always. It's definitely a spiritual battle that the enemy has taken ground in people's lives and does not like it when they are taking it back, or when it's being won back for God's kingdom. So we value your prayers as we engage tonight. That's a way that you can walk alongside. You can be a part of this evening, even though you're not physically here. So we value that, and also encourage you to share this, like it, and let other people know about it as well, so that they also can kind of have a window into what we do in our programs each week. So, but until next week, this is Experience Mid Valley Fellowship. Thanks for dropping in.